What's up, people, and welcome to another edition of Deconstructing Hip Hop, the show where geek meets ghetto, aka the show where we break down classic hip hop beats using modern day musical production tools. Now, today's joint is one that I've been getting requests for since the very first episode that I did. Now, I've been trying to do a decent sounding cover of T.R.O.Y and CL Smooth's They Reminisce Over You, but I just couldn't get it to sound right. But after listening to the song on the way home the other day, I just knew that I had to put in the work to get it to sound right, to just make it happen. Now, this song is arguably the best produced hip hop song ever. It incorporates a sample that was flipped in such a way that it feels very different from the feel of the original song. And it also has elements of that same sample used to provide a sonic backdrop that gives the listener just gives them something more to listen to, should they just decide to listen to the beat by itself. Now, T.R.O.Y plays with the drum arrangement throughout the song too. Now, nowadays, we just see a lot of intricate drum sequencing because there really are tools that make it easier. I mean, we have tools that allow producers to repeat notes with a single press of a button, or to vary up the velocity of a sound just by twisting a knob, or even just to cue up different scenes of a particular beat. So if you want to fill in, all you got to do is just press a button and boom, it's there. Not when this song was produced, though. Now, it was done with nothing more than an EMU SP1200. Now, while this machine was a powerful machine, producing a well thought out, varied song like They Reminisce Over You took a lot of time and effort. Mind you, it wasn't easy with the gear that I have, and I have things like Ableton Live, Propellerhead's Reason, and Native Instruments Machine, which are way more powerful than the SP1200. And this goes to show you that the real talent is in the person, not in the gear that they have. Now, aside from the beat, what made this song so iconic was what it represented, and that's an ode to a fallen friend and reflection on one's own past. CL Smooth paints a very vivid picture of his family in the first verse, and then he shares his grief over the death of his friend Trouble T.R.O.Y, who died tragically in 1990 after an accidental fall. I mean, the song was named after him. Now, all of these emotions served as inspiration for a lyrically profound song whose beat is now legendary. And the thing is, the same mood you feel on the lyrics is the same one that you feel just by listening to the beat alone. Now, like I said, T.R.O.Y used an EMU SP1200. It had no more than 10 seconds of sample time, some filters up in there, and a built-in sequencer. Today, I'm using Native Instruments Machine to do all of the heavy lifting. Anyway, less talking, more beat making. Now, I recall when this track first came out. Back then, it was really easy for me to overlook the passion that went into making this song because I was just a kid. But T.R.O.Y and CL Smooth were definitely on my radar because my cousin Ivis, who was learning to DJ at the time, put me onto the creator. Now, what I never appreciated about this track until I covered it was the sheer complexity of it. First off, it takes a jazzy riff from a 1960s track that had a whole different mood to it and changes the vibe of the sample to one that's melancholy. T.R.O.Y then took several snippets throughout the song and created a backdrop of sound behind the main sample that you can overlook on first listen, but discover when you later on rehear the song. Now, he also plays around with the drum sequencing throughout the whole track, so he doesn't just keep on looping the same drum arrangement, which is something that, I'm not gonna lie, I'm guilty of myself. This is the jazzy sample that I was talking about, Tom Scott's Today. Now, They Reminisce Over You was mostly made up of two-bar samples from this song. The first main sample that I'm sampling right now, and that plays through the verses, and another 2-bar horn riff that I'm going to sample a little later on. Now, this main sample isn't just a straight sample. The first 1 3/4 bars are, yeah, a standard sample, but for the last 1/4 of a bar, T.R.O.Y sampled that from another bit of the song that occurs a little bit later. Here we have that signature horn riff. Now notice the cheery mood of the song. It's like it's something that you could probably just lounge on a deck with a glass of wine in hand. But when Pete Rock gets done with it, you just want to pour out some liquor for your fallen comrades. Now that the sample is edited, I'm going to separate the high frequencies from the low frequencies. Or in non-nerdy terms, I'm going to be separating the low bass sounds from the high horn sounds using filters. You're also going to see me do the same thing for the main sample. Now, before, I mentioned that there were elements of this beat that were really easy to overlook. Now, one of them is this small vocal sample that I honestly never really noticed until I started to do this cover. So here you're going to see me isolate it. The drums were sampled from James Brown's Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. Now this beat has been sampled tons of times in hip hop. I mean, one track that jumps off the top of my head that samples this is Salt and Pepper's Do You Want Me? Now, after I sample the drums, I'm going to separate the kick, snare, and hi-hat and put each one of them onto their own pad here in Machine. All right, we're almost done. Now, I waved my magic wand at the samples and tweaked them a little bit. First, I lowered the pitch to match the Reminisce Over You. Another easily missed element is the snippet of the chorus's horn riff that plays throughout the song. Now, I really tried my best to replicate the way the snippet goes from the right channel to the left channel and back again, but I haven't really mastered automation in Machine just yet, but I think I came close enough in my opinion. Remember that vocal sample? Now the last la in the sample is echoed and played in the background along with the horn sample that pans from right to left. Alright, so I got the samples, I edited them, and I finished my coffee. Now I just spent the last hour and change listening to the original track, just making sure that I get all the sequencing right, and I do think I got most of it. First, I'm going to manually trigger the introduction sample and then the little piece of the horn riff that doesn't fall on the first beat. Then I'm just going to hit the play button and let Machine take over because I already did all of the sequencing. That being said, just sit back and enjoy. And that's pretty much it. I know that I didn't get the horn sample to pan from right to left smoothly like it does in They Reminisce Over You, and there are no oohs on the chorus because I don't think that that was a sample at all. I believe that they brought in some vocalists for that, or maybe they did it themselves. I don't know. But the heart of the track is there. And if you really don't know a whole lot about this song and about Mecca and the Soul Brother, that album, I really hope that you take the time to look up this classic and the rest of the songs and learn more about it. I mean, your ears will really thank you. Anyway, please like the Facebook page at facebook.com/deconstructinghiphop and share these clips on your timeline. You can also subscribe to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/deconstructinghiphop, which might be a good idea because if I release these videos earlier, odds are they're going to show up on YouTube first, since the YouTube link is what ends up on Twitter and what ends up on Facebook. Now, speaking of Twitter, if you do have any requests, follow me up on Twitter at twitter.com/RogerGill79 and at reply me your requests. Well, it's a gloomy Monday here in New Jersey, kind of appropriate given the song that we just covered, and I gotta head to work to go help out some families. So, until next time, peace.